The streets of St. Louis held a sinister secret in the early 1990s, a secret that would haunt the city for years to come. A shadow lurked, preying on the vulnerable, moving silently through the night, leaving a trail of heartbreak and fear in its wake, a trail that seemed to have no end. This was the era of the package killer, a moniker that sent chills down the spines of residents and left law enforcement scrambling for answers, desperate to stop the terror. This individual, driven by a darkness that defied comprehension, targeted women, often those living on the fringes of society, their lives tragically cut short in the most brutal of ways. The killer's calling card was as gruesome as it was perplexing, a signature that baffled even the most seasoned detectives. Victims were discovered not just lifeless but discarded, their bodies concealed within everyday objects, suitcases, trash cans, even a refrigerator, turning the mundane into the macabre. These grim packages were left in plain sight, dumped in alleys or by the roadside, a chilling message to the community and a morbid puzzle for investigators who were left grasping at straws. Fear gripped the city, a palpable tension that could be felt in every corner. The randomness of the attacks, the callous disregard for human life left everyone wondering who would be next, creating an atmosphere of perpetual dread. Women, particularly those involved in sex work, lived in terror, acutely aware that they were the primary targets, their every move shadowed by the fear of becoming the next victim. The once familiar streets of St. Louis had transformed into a hunting ground, the package killer a terrifying embodiment of evil lurking just out of sight, always one step ahead. The police worked tirelessly, following every lead, desperate to bring the perpetrator to justice, but the killer remained elusive. Yet despite their best efforts, the case grew colder with each passing season, the trail of the package killer fading into obscurity. Years turned into decades, the memory of the victims fading into the background, but the scars left on the community remained, a haunting reminder of the terror that once gripped the city. The package killer became a ghost story, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of any city, a legend that still sends shivers down the spine of St. Louis residents. Behind the sensationalized headlines, often designed to grab attention and evoke strong emotions, and the chilling moniker package killer, lay the heartbreaking reality of lost lives, lives that were full of potential and dreams. These were not just nameless victims, they were daughters, sisters, friends, each with a story tragically cut short, leaving behind grieving families and communities. Their memories deserve to be honored, their stories told, reminding us of the human cost of such senseless violence and the impact it has on those left behind. Robin Mihan, just 18 years old, was the first victim discovered, a young woman with her whole life ahead of her. Full of life and dreams for the future, Robin's life was tragically cut short, her body discovered in a suitcase in an alleyway in March 1990, a discovery that would haunt her family forever. Her death sent shockwaves through the community, a stark realization that a predator was among them, shattering the sense of safety and security. Sandy Little, 21, was found less than 2 months later, her body discarded in a trash can, a tragic end for someone so full of life. Known for her infectious laugh and kind heart, Sandy's life was tragically intertwined with the dark world of the package killer, a fate she did not deserve. Her loss devastated her family, leaving a void that could never be filled, a pain that would linger for years to come. Brenda Jean Pruitt, 27, was discovered in July 1990, her body hidden inside a refrigerator, a grim discovery that shocked everyone. A mother struggling to make ends meet, Brenda's life was marked by hardship, yet she faced each day with resilience, a testament to her strength. Her murder, another piece in the package killer's twisted puzzle, underscored the vulnerability of those living on the margins, highlighting the dangers they face. Donna Reitmeyer, 40, was the final known victim, her body found in a plastic bag near a highway in February 1991, a tragic end to a life filled with challenges. Despite facing personal challenges, Donna was known for her strength and determination, qualities that made her beloved by those who knew her. Her death, coming almost a year after the first murder, intensified the fear gripping the community, the package killer seemingly unstoppable, a shadow over their lives. These women, each unique and irreplaceable, were united in death by a monster who preyed on their vulnerability, a tragic bond that should never have existed. Their stories, though forever intertwined with tragedy, serve as a reminder that behind every headline, behind every cold case file, lies a human life deserving of justice and remembrance, a life that should never be forgotten. The disappearance of the package killer from the headlines did not equate to closure for the families of the victims or the St. Louis community. The pain and fear that gripped the city in the early 1990s never truly dissipated. The specter of the unsolved murders lingered, a heavy shroud of unanswered questions hanging over the city. Each corner of St. Louis seemed to whisper the names of the lost. The victims' families were left with a profound sense of loss, and the agonizing torture of not knowing who was responsible or why their loved ones had been taken. Their lives were forever altered, marked by an unending quest for answers. Years turned into decades, and the lack of answers gnawed at the collective conscience of St. Louis. The seasons changed, but the pain remained constant. The unsolved cases became a chilling reminder of the city's vulnerability, a dark cloud that loomed over every neighborhood. The fear that had gripped them in the early 1990s resurfacing with every anniversary, every mention of the case in the media. Every news report revisiting the horrific crimes brought back the terror and sorrow, as if the wounds were freshly opened. The package killer case morphed into a morbid fascination for some, a source of endless speculation and amateur sleuthing. Conversations in coffee shops often turned to theories and what-ifs. It became a topic that people couldn't let go of, a puzzle that demanded to be solved. True crime podcasts dedicated episodes to dissecting the details, bringing the case to a new generation of listeners. Online forums buzzed with theories, some plausible, others bordering on the absurd. The digital age breathed new life into the cold case. Yet, amidst the noise, the families of Robin, Sandy, Brenda, and Donna yearned for the one thing that remained elusive: justice. They attended every hearing, every memorial, hoping for a breakthrough. The passage of time did little to ease their pain. The memories of their loved ones were as vivid as ever. The anniversaries of their loved ones' deaths were a painful reminder of their absence, a stark contrast to the lives that continued around them. The milestones they would never reach, the laughter they would never again hear. The laughter they would never again hear echoed in the silence of their homes. The families clung to hope, however faint, that someday, somehow, the monster who had shattered their lives would be held accountable. They believed in the possibility of justice, no matter how distant it seemed. The families, the police, and the city of St. Louis refused to let the memory of these women fade, determined to one day close this dark chapter and finally find peace. They held on to the hope that the truth would emerge and the city could heal from its long-standing wounds. Gary R. Muehlberg, a name that sends chills down the spine of many. Known as the package killer, Muehlberg's reign of terror spanned several years. His methodical and calculated approach to his crimes left a trail of fear and devastation in his wake. In a twist that no one saw coming, Gary R. Muehlberg confessed to his heinous crimes. This confession, while bringing a sense of closure to many, also opened up old wounds. Families of the victims were left grappling with a mix of relief and renewed grief, as they finally knew the truth, but had to relive the horrors once more. The impact of Muehlberg's actions reverberated throughout the community. The implications of his crimes extended beyond the immediate victims and their families, affecting the very fabric of society. Law enforcement agencies faced scrutiny, and the public's trust was shaken. The case highlighted the need for better resources and support for both the victims' families and the officers involved. As we reflect on this dark chapter, it is crucial to honor the victims and remember their lives. Communities have come together to support one another, seeking hope and healing. Memorials and vigils serve as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the ongoing quest for justice and peace. Through unity and compassion, we strive to ensure that such tragedies are never repeated.